Next, Mr. Andreas Hayes, Director of the International Trade and Commerce in the Government of the District of Columbia. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thanks again for ICSB to actually give me the opportunity to talk to you a little bit about the Export DC program. And this is one of the programs that we actually do to support the small business community when it comes to international development. I know some of you already, I saw you and we met this morning and we had a wonderful time. But for those of you that we have not met, my name is Andreas Hayes. I'm the Director of International Trade and Commerce at the Office of the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development. And my team and I were responsible for 4 things. The first one is to attract FDI to the city. The other one is actually to be able to maintain relationship for those already invested in the city. The third one is to promote trade. By that, actually, we do it through the Export DC program. And last but not least, we're also responsible for all the diplomatic/trade missions. So what I would like to do is just, again, like I did this morning, but I want to take you to a different journey today. And that's just basically to talk about the Export DC program. And again, this program is more than anything else. It's a program that was dedicated and was built to allow SMEs to actually take their business to an international level. So how do we do that? Especially nowadays that actually we're encouraging the businesses to pivot. We find other ways where we actually said, you know what, there's another way of opportunity where you can actually do business. And that's actually through our international market. So what do we do is actually through the international strategy that we have built, where we actually partner with 22 countries. And also we just launched, I do have to say, we're proud to say that we just launched our Africa strategy. So in theory, we actually partner with 30 countries. So now we're actually giving the opportunity for them to be able to actually expand their businesses to 30 countries throughout the hemisphere. So what do we do and what is actually our responsibility to be able to support this program? The first thing that we do is actually make sure that they're international ready. How do we do that? We actually, through external subcontractors, we actually make sure we give them a course and we actually make sure that they actually either from a business perspective, from a cultural perspective, and from a strategic perspective, they actually ready to do business in the countries where we actually encourage them to do business. So for every single country, we actually give them a course and we make sure that they're ready from all the 3 aspects that I just mentioned, that they will be able to do business. The second thing that we do, which is critical, to make sure that their business plan or their strategic plan from an international level makes sense and they can incorporate it into the overall business plan. The last thing that we do with them is to actually make sure that from a marketing perspective, they will be ready. They have all the necessary tools to encourage them and to actually be able to do business in those countries. At the same time, the big result is going to be when we take them on our trade missions to make sure that we actually pair them with other companies within those businesses, within those countries, so they will be able to do business. Not only that, after we finish that, we actually want to see a success story. So what do we do? Our main process is the follow-up. So as soon as they come back, we keep working with them because we want to make sure that they will be able to close those deals. And that's the most critical aspect to it. It's not a matter that they're getting a free trip, they got a good website, they will be able to actually get a nice course to make sure they're international ready. But we want to make sure as well that they'll be able to actually close as many deals as possible. And that's actually part of our Export DC program. The last but not least that we do in terms of our program is to actually help them to be able to build a network, okay, of different countries where they can actually do business, not just necessarily with one, but we'll try to encourage them to actually be able to expand to as many countries as possible. And like I said before, and I said it this morning, and I repeat it again, we cannot do this by ourselves. We do this with our major stakeholders, such as the DC Chamber of Commerce, which in this case is our program administrator. So we do not, one of the things that I want to mention that we do not give them the funds directly to the businesses, but what we actually do is pay for the additional services. And that's another way for us to be able to help the business community to pivot and to enter the international market. So with that, actually, I just wanted to give you a brief remarks and tell you how, what the city is doing from an international level. And I'm glad to see so many faces. And if I may, I just want to actually share with you just some of the countries that we actually working with from an international strategy. So from an Africa perspective, we actually working with Algeria, Botswana, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Morocco, Nigeria, and Senegal. And from the rest of the world, we're working with Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, El Salvador, Uzbekistan, India, Qatar, Israel, Australia, Brazil, France, Germany, Greece, India, Ireland, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Taiwan, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, and Uruguay. So like I said, we're extremely busy here, but we want to make sure that our main goal is to support our business community. Thank you very much, ICSB, for giving us the opportunity. Thank you all. And once again, welcome to Washington, D.C.
Oh, let's take, yep. Most speakers today, as you speak, will get a commemorative gavel with the date of the event and where we are. That does not mean you take it home and you gavel all the time.
Oh, I cannot.
Okay, right? Right. Thank you, Mr. Andreas Hayes, Director of the International Trade and Commerce in the government of the District of Columbia. The countries you have mentioned sound a lot like ICSB. So we have activated the ICSB network with these countries.